Good morning. What does Santa have up his sleeve for Yankee fans? Find out.
Cue the music.
We even have more surprises this morning, as you can see.
Yes, and Santa came early and brought us a special guest. Welcome to Julian Guilarte. Julian is a MLB, MILB beat reporter, and we are so happy to have you with us, Julian. How you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also want to shout out our podcast Dugout Station. Me and Sandy created this together, so we've been working on that for a while, and we're doing a lot of stuff there, like reporting, YouTube channels, and have a lot of content coming out. So we're looking forward to building on that. And other than that, I'm just doing some writing too. So that's what I've been up to, working on something for Yamamoto. Hopefully it hits well if the Yankees sign him, so we'll see. But yeah, it's been an interesting journey for sure. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. And we want to say welcome to everyone in the chat. Welcome to, let me start at the top, and then Lori, FLD Diver, JC, Jonathan. Help me out here. For some reason, I can't spell
Strike zone. And I see up early on we had Demon D and
Aiden. De Polo.
Yep, the chat is busting out all over. And FJ, you just popped in. And so great to have you here as always, co-hosting the show as we consider you co-hosts. So Julian, can you tell us a little bit about your journey leading up to you to being a beat reporter?
Yeah, it's like I kind of just started doing some stuff on my own in 2017, 2018, like kind of just like doing some previews and recaps, going to games fan strictly, and then just kind of.
Good morning, Rob's dad. Sorry.
Active tweeting, videos here and there, just like kind of progressing through the system, meeting some people, and like getting some good connections here and there. It's like still trying to do more for sure, but it's a work in progress, and it's taken a few years. It's definitely difficult, but I'm looking forward to how this is going to continue to grow.
And I've been following you for quite some while, and I think Chris has as well. It's been really exciting to see all of that happening. And most recently, you were at the winter meetings. You want to spill some tea on that?
Yeah. It was great. I love going to the meetings. It was a cool experience, especially to see the Soto news drop that day. We were just like waiting for it for a while. Finally comes down. It's always a little bit different to be there when stuff's going on. You get to see all the industry people that like are online, like they're fictionary to most people, but yes, they are real. They are like everyone else in the sense, like they're not just Twitter bots, they're just typing reports out. So it's always fun to see what goes on in the baseball world. You get like a lot of GMs out there, managers, you'll get some player contingency too, like former players. Like you got a mix of everyone in that building, and it's definitely something that I think baseball fans should go to, even if they're not like working in the industry. It's like a cool event for fans to see. Like it's very, people are accessible to in certain points, so it's very fun.
And just think, Julian, if things go the way any Yankee fan would want, and Soto sticks here for the rest of his career, you were there for that historic moment,
right?
In person, live. I mean, how many people are going to get to say that? So that's cool for sure. And so I'm gonna pause for a second to give the trivia question of the week. But we are going to be talking about Yamamoto. You know, how could we not? It's just going to be the center on everyone's mind. And yeah, Jonathan. So yes, that's really great news that he's meeting with the Yankees again. But Chris, do you want to share what you read just before we came on?
I think the chat's been talking about it. It sounds like Andy Martino reported that Yamamoto met with Cohen for dinner last night, and I'm sure the chat's aware of that. But does anyone really think the Mets are a threat to take away? I mean, it was the Dodgers just a day ago. Today it's the Mets. Who do we think? Where do we think Yamamoto lands?
So, Chris, did you say that they had dinner at Cohen's house?
I think it said at Cohen's house. Yeah.
So what is Hal and Cashman going to do? Take them to White Castle at this point? how do you outdo that?
I have no idea.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, so here's the tweet. Yoshinobu Yamamoto had dinner last night at Steve Cohen's house with a Mets contingent, including Cohen, his wife Alex, GM David Stearns, manager Carlos Mendoza, and pitching coach Jeremy Hefner.
Son of Hugh, I wonder. Julian, you're shaking your head.
It's just like I don't understand like why we're doing second meetings now. I thought one meeting was good enough with all the teams. Now we're gonna do second meetings. Like, oh man, like I don't know. I mean, it's just like the Mets are a threat. They have a lot of money. They're a threat. I mean, they're willing to spend money. So like they're gonna be in the discussion. I mean, I still like the Yankees' chances. If they meet them today, it's cool. Maybe they can make an offer good enough that he doesn't have to leave the building. Hopefully. But I still think he'll sign before Christmas. It's just we're just waiting. All the different stuff is like making everyone go up and down. But like, just gotta trust the process and hope for the best.
That's right, and it's just Cohen like playing the role of the villain and just doubling down to make things nervous. And you know he doesn't care if it drives up the prices because like everyone's saying, he has the deep pockets for it. And yeah, Lori, if only I'd give him a crate of Yankee Doodles if that's what it took. But yeah. I know Cohen didn't have his maid serve tuna noodle casserole. So, you know, we all got, I'm sure it was top of the line. But you know what? If that's what Yamamoto's about, then, you know, maybe he's not for the Bronx. Who knows? But anyway, before we go too far afield, no pun intended, let me share the trivia question of the week.
Gotcha.
From our trivia sponsor, Spencer. I won't say that fast 10 times. So, as we wait for news of Yamamoto, New York Yankee fans are now clamoring to order their Juan Soto jerseys. Soto will wear number 22, which is worn by many Yankees in their history, most notably 300-game winner and Cy Young winner Roger Clemens. Harrison Bader wore 22 when he played for the Yankees in 2022 and 2023 and 2022. Which player wore 22 in 2021?
Good question, Spence.
Yeah,
excellent.
As usual. And yeah, you see this little line here? The answer will be revealed at the end of the show. Yep. So thanks for the great question as always, Spencer. And for those of you that bought Bader jerseys without the name on it, mad props to you. You could save $400 now and just wear that, and everyone, right?
Lucky ones. I don't have a 22, unfortunately, but it's all good, I guess. I'll just get a shirt or whatever. But it's I'm trying to think who that player is. Yeah, I think that guy she got it right. I'm pretty sure that she gave the answer away in the chat. I won't say what it is, but I'm pretty sure that's it. I knew it was someone like that, but yeah, the Yamamoto process is fascinating. Never really seen much like this before. Tanaka didn't seem as like drawn out and like as like highly touted as Yamamoto is. I mean, it was still fun and it was good to see the Yankees get him, but his contract's gonna be way more than what Tanaka got. So we'll see.
Julian, you covered the Somerset Patriots, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is that like? What's it like to be a beat writer for a team? How is that?
It's pretty crazy. The Somerset gives a lot of good stories. I like do a lot of video stuff too. Like I don't always write particularly, but like sometimes I will. So I do like highlights. We'll put them on our channel and stuff, and then I'll post them on Twitter sometimes. So like it's a cool process. Like they're like doing the interviews. That's like the best part of it, really. You get to kind of see what makes the guys take a little bit. Some guys give you more than others. Some are kind of just like a little cut and dry. But I like getting to know the stories behind the players. The minors are fascinating because there's so much movement. And like a lot of things change rapidly. So like you have all these guys going through different levels, and then you have like the rehab aspect of it, like when the MLB guys come down, so it always adds a nice spice to it. So there's always like something going on.
Excellent. And do you pretty much, I mean, does your life pretty much revolve year round around baseball? I mean, are you planning? Do you ever get time off? In other words.
Yeah, like I try to. It's like I try to give myself some breaks, but it's baseball's like all the time, basically. Even in the off season, as you see
all
now.
the time.
Like during the season, we all know how long it is. It's like 6+ months. Even the off season, like with the stuff with Yamamoto now, I'm like on my toes, waiting for something. Obviously, like trying to do some work on this. Like we've been podcasting and doing a lot. So like. And then the winter meetings with Soto. So, I mean, holidays is like a good break time, actually, because, like, not too much happens normally. Like, in that Christmas and New Year's gap is normally nice. Then you're kind of just, like, waiting for spring training, and it's like, here we go again. So, like, it's, I try my best with that. It's tough.
Yeah. So, so let's stick with the minors for a bit. So I'd love for your take, Julian, on the new catcher we acquired because of the recent trade with the Pirates. So I understand it's because of the $450K that came with the contract, but can you explain why they would use that money on a catcher when we have like 12 million of them and so many we gave away Higgy?
I mean, it's like, I think the kid's like 16 or 17, so it's something like they're so far away, like they'll figure that problem out when it arrives. If it arrives, I guess they just like the talent. I didn't really know too much about it. It's really vague information on the kid as well. Like, it's tough to get info from guys that young, really, when they haven't really played like established ball that like the stats are tracked. So like, I'm not really sure what to expect, to be honest. It's like, yeah, they have 1 million catchers. They trade Higgy, so now you have 5 instead of 6. I feel like you still could probably spare one. I mean, that's a lot of catchers on the 40-man roster. But like, we'll see if they actually go into the year with that. So, yeah, I do agree. The catchers is kind of a lot. I think they could maybe make something happen with that. They're gonna have to see. Maybe like flip a guy for like a bullpen arm or something. Something that might be decent.
Yeah, I was about to say, is this the McKinney move? Is this going to be hello, goodbye, revolving door thing or what? Yeah, and I'm glad it gave you pause also. But so that was one thing, and then so assuming and the chat is saying all the things that have us all nervous. I think it really is going to come down between the Yankees and the Mets, and what do you think if we don't get Yamamoto? And where will the Yankees pivot? And will it be, for example, Imanaga? But there's also 3 standout prospects with Beater, Warren, and Hampton, right? So do you and from everything that I've read lately, they're pretty much show ready. What are your thoughts about those 3? Do they have a spot or a potential spot? Will they be invited to Tampa? What's your take on all that?
I think the Dodgers shouldn't be ruled out for him either still, because they're going nuts. When I go through everything else, I mean, I think if they don't get him, it would kind of be a little bit rough. I think Dylan Cease is too rich for their cost. I see people saying Cease, but like I can't see 2 big trades like that in one off season and just like gutting the whole farm system. Maybe Corbin Burns to a lesser degree. If they can pull that off, it'd be cool. And then you have Shane Bieber's a trade candidate. I don't know about the Magna, just because like there's some similarities to Kay Gow. Kind of have some PTSD there. I don't know if I want to go that route with a lefty that's kind of a junk baller a little bit from over there. I don't know if that's nice. I'm not 100% sure. He obviously is good over there, but most of them are. So like, I think Monty reunion might be too rich for their taste too. Like, kind of thought about it, but he might be better off elsewhere. So like, the pivots aren't too great, unfortunately. Montas could return. Wouldn't be shocked with that. He could be at a 5 maybe if he comes back. In the prospect race, I like Will Warren a lot. He's not on the 40. It's the only issue. Clayton Beeter will get some looks. He could be a long guy too, potentially. Chase Hampton's a great pitcher. He's really good, and we got to speak to him on dugout, so that was fun. But like, he needs more time. He hasn't got AAA yet, so like he might start in AA and then do triple. So like maybe later in the season.
Okay, so and what about the the lower level prospects? What's your take on Danny Watson? And is he somebody that somewhere in the season, might get a look?
Sure, I think Watson's pretty close. I think he could start in AAA. I think he could have maybe made that push last year, but he didn't get injured. He's a guy that could definitely fill the Yankees bullpen. I really like what I see from Watson. He came onto the scene this year. He's got a unique delivery. He's really tall. Sliders nasty. He's going to be tough on any hitter. So I think he's trying to increase his velo too. It's like lower 90s right now. He's trying to get it higher because like he changed arm slots a lot, so he's still working to try to get like up to mid 90s a little bit. I think he's maybe hit like 93, 94 on the most with his new slot maybe, but he's really good. I think he could be a factor this year for sure.
Do you think his sidearm approach is part of the impact for the lower velo?
Yeah, it is. He had said as much. Like it is part of it. Like he did lose some velocity when he switched up, but it does help with the deception. So I guess it's ultimately worth it for him. So like yeah, Matt Blake could do some good work with him too. Like I think he's got a lot in there, and I'd love to see him make the debut this year.
So do you think that means an invite to Tampa?
Possibly? Yeah, I could see him getting an invite. Maybe Warren should definitely get one. I would think Hampton. Hopefully, maybe all of them do. So Beeter will be locked in because he's on the 40 now, so we won't have to worry about that.
Right.
So maybe Edgar Barkley can get a camp look too. He may have got one in the past. Actually, I don't know if I remember. I can't remember right now, but that's another guy. He's a lefty though, but he's kind of similar to Watson, just from the left side. Yeah, Warren should get one for sure.
Right. Okay. And then going a little bit lower down the ranks, what about Angel Benitez? Or Benitez? I'm not sure how. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he sits at around 93, 95.
Yeah, I've heard some good stuff about him too. I don't know if he'll get an invite because, like, I'm not sure like how low the levels they go for the invites, but he's definitely someone to watch. Looking forward to seeing how he could climb up through the system. Maybe he'll get to Somerset this year, so he can get a look, close hand. We'll have to see what happens with that. So the Somerset's been churning out pitchers left and right. Even the guys have been traded, a lot of them have gone through the Patriots. A lot of them have made it to MiLB. So it's been fun to see like all the growth that they've had over the last 2 years.
And fair to say that Somerset has been much more of a drive-through than prior seasons, where they're not spending so much time there and moving up quicker. And if so, is that based on the quality that they're getting for prospects, or our need in the majors, or both?
I think it's both, actually. I really do. I think they have kind of accelerated some timelines. The needs have kind of matched some of it too. Some guys still marinate a little bit. It has been cool to see, and I think it is very because of like the culture that Somerset's built. Like those guys are going with the mindset to play Major League Ball. Like they're going to the mindset to win a championship. Like those guys play hard every day. They really battle out there. Last year they lost in the playoffs before they won it all, but it's really a competitive environment. There's so much depth to it, all the positions that all these guys are competing nonstop, like the pitchers, the catchers, like all the infielders, outfielders, and it's just everyone wants playing time. They rotate a lot of guys too. And the Eastern League is a really good league, so it's like an audition almost.
Right. Okay. And so one name to me that's conspicuously missing from the starting rotation conversation is Nestor.
Yeah.
Why?
I think
what's your inside take there?
I think it's just because he really had a tough year. he didn't do too much. I know Rodon and Nestor are getting a lot of heat now. I think they're really coming under the gun because like there's 4 starting pitchers right now for the Yankees, and they're really looking at those 2 closely. They're saying it's not enough. They don't trust it and all that. I think Nestor's going to be fine as long as he's healthy. His last start was actually really good. He got hurt, unfortunately, though. But it's a big season for him. We got to see what he's got. How much is he going to be able to throw? Is he the Nestor we saw 2 years ago, or is he somewhere in the middle? That's something we need to find out, too.
And to springboard off of that, I was in Twitter this morning, and someone put on their ideal Yankee rotation. This was per Torres at ESC Torres 19. And this was his ideal rotation for the Yankees for 2024. Cole, Yamamoto, Bauer, Rodon, Cortez. What would you think of that as our ideal rotation?
I mean, it's good besides Bauer, I would say. That's just not going to happen. The Yankees aren't going that route. Whatever anyone thinks of him, that's their opinion, obviously. And I'm indifferent towards some of it, but like, I understand some of the shit that took place wasn't great, obviously. Some of it's alleged, some of it's true, some of it's not true. It's a messy situation, but he's not a Yankee material. And I don't even know if he's going to get a look in MLB at all, honestly. The other 4, great. That sounds fun. And then you put Clarkman in instead of Bauer, and you have your rotation. Maybe Montas is in as like the 5-6 swingman. So, yeah, no, Bauer's not happening. Saki's like that's a while down the road, maybe. So, like,
that is
I like that. I think that's it. If you get Yamamoto, I think the rotation's in a good spot, and maybe Montas comes in too. So, I could see that.
I mean, I think Montas is a question mark. Do you think he's a question mark, or do you think he will come back strong?
I mean, of course, it's a question because of the shoulder, but I think he's got a shot, and you're not going to rely on him in a heavy role like when they first acquired him. Like, he was supposed to be like the 2nd or 3rd pitcher. Like, he didn't come anywhere close to that. But if you want him to be a 5 or a 6, I think it's worth throwing the dice on the C maybe if you can get something out of him just to eat some innings. And you're going to need a lot of starters. We know how bad the depth's been tested the last couple of years. You want like 7 to 8 starters going into the season that you feel comfortable with.
Right. And Patsu Joe lists his ideal starting rotation: Cole, Yamu, Cortez, Rodon, and Schmidt, which I would be okay with that.
Yeah, that's typical. I mean, that could work. I would probably just do Rodon 3, Schmidt 4, and Esther 5 maybe. It's like maybe switch to lefties, righties a little bit, but that's the 5 we want. So, yeah. No, Montas, I understand why people could be down, but like I think there could still be something in there. I would give it a go potentially. It's just like a depth filler option, like only going to be like 10 to 12 million. Won't hurt them too much.
Yeah.
So the chat got ahead of me, or they're in my head. What about the bullpen? Is Cole? Is Holmes really our closer? And we've talked about this for the past several weeks. I lost the comment about and who it was from. I think it was FL Diver JC. And what about Heel in the mix out there?
I like Hill in the bullpen potentially in the swing starter role. It's going to be interesting to see how he comes back after Tommy John. He is on the 40-man roster. I think his options, I believe he might have one left. It's a double check, so maybe he gives a AAA if needed in the beginning. But he could be a factor in that bullpen. It looks like right now, Clay Holmes is the guy. I don't see them getting Class A or Hader. I think that's too rich for their taste. I think that's way unrealistic. You can't trade all that stuff for Class A after they just got Soto. They're not going to spend $80 to $100 million on Josh Hader for a relief pitcher. They don't do that anymore. So, like, they might have to try to find someone under the radar. Like, I get sense. Like, they mentioned the Yankees were in on him at the winter meetings. So, yeah, Jordan Hicks, yep. So that's the guy maybe that could maybe try to close, although he's a little erratic, but his fastball's crazy. It's like 103 to 104.
Well, we could get someone the likes of Hader if we put new catcher Justin Kaplan in the package. Seemed to work with McKinney. So all this up in the air. What's your best take on? Let's go back to Chris's question about the starting rotation. You and your you being in the ethos of live bodies in Nashville, and what's your real sense? Are we fooling ourselves about Yamamoto? Do I have to worry about Monty being a Red Sox? Because yeah, let's go to that first, because I think Chris and I both are very nervous about that.
And I saw a question I want to get to about Scott Boras. Someone asked in the chat. I'll do that third though. So we'll do Monty, we'll do Yamamoto, and we'll do Boras. Sure. So let's start with Boras, I guess. So Boras is he's an interesting dude. I like him personally. Actually, he does give me some good stuff. Like, I asked about Soto. He said that he's one of the better 24-year-olds ever, like 3 to 4 best. I asked about like the contracts that he turned down. He raised the eyebrows up. So he's looking for more than $440 million. I think Boras is very quirky in a sense, but like if you get to like ask the right stuff, he'll give you the right answers. But like, he didn't want to hear about Soto and the Yankees before the deal was done. Like, he's not going to like go over the contract obligations, because like he was still under contract with the Padres. One of my thoughts on the Boras factor as far as who he might sign. I don't think we're getting Monty. That's a Boras guy. Bellinger's off the table. I think Soto was the biggest Boras client we're going to have now. So I don't really know any other free agents that are on the board. I think Montas is Boras, actually. But like, in terms of big name free agents with Boras, I think we're probably done this offseason. I would be surprised. I think he's got Blake Snell, but we're not getting Blake Snell. Monty to the Red Sox is very realistic. I would be nervous about it. I think it's a fit that makes a lot of sense, especially if when they whiff on Yamamoto, most likely. I think Monty, yeah, he has been getting some real estate up there too. The Rangers don't appear to be getting him back. I'd be worried about it.
Damn.
Oh man,
it's like a stake to the heart.
Vision is us.
I can't see that.
And with Yamamoto, I mean, I heard the Mets were going to be a factor, like we were talking about before. People told me that we had to worry with the Mets. They said the Mets are going to be in it. Cohen's going to offer a lot of money. I know money's not everything, but if the gap is so huge that the Yankees can't close it, that's a problem. So we have to hope that it's not like too much out of the water. If it's like 350 or 400, I don't know. I'm not too sure.
It's rich. It's gonna be rich, whatever it is at the end. Obviously, the price goes up as we speak, I think.
Yeah, and so we know that Hal is saying that he's so committed to getting us to the postseason in 2024, and actually, Mark Feinstein wrote an article about the non-playoff teams most likely to take their rise, and Yankees was number one in our in our division. So, how do you feel about our division overall? In terms of even if Monty goes to where. With the acquisitions we have so far and the potential really close ones, how do you like our chances stacked up against the rest of the division? Now,
even if the Red Sox get Monty, I feel like they're still the worst in the division. So we could start from the bottom and build up to the top. Then the fourth place team, it's going to be interesting. It won't be Yankees this year with Soto, especially if they get Yamamoto. I mean, can Tampa Bay jump all the way to 4? I don't know. Like, it feels like they always figure it out somehow, and they're losing Glasnow now. The Ronzer Franco situation's really bad. I don't know how they're going to replace him if he's out for the year again. Toronto, I'm not as worried about either, because You got to remember they're losing Kiermaier. They might lose Matt Chapman. They whiffed on Ohtani, which has been a big blow to them. They might get Bellinger. I mean, the Toronto's could be in that 2 to 3 mix, and then Baltimore is going to be up there again, I would say. But the Orioles need starting pitching still. They have everything else just about, but they don't have enough starting pitching. So I think it's going to be a fun race. I think if the Yankees get Yamamoto, they could rise back to the top. But without him, I don't know if they can do that.
I agree 100%.
So I've seen LA Yankee King mention Sasaki twice in the conversation. We haven't talked about him. What do you and Chris think about Sasaki?
I think he's even better than Yamamoto potentially, which is scary. And the guy's like younger than 25 years old. But it's like, I don't know how the international stuff fully works. It's the Yankees wouldn't have to offer nearly as high of a contract to Sasaki because he wouldn't be even 25 when he comes over. So there's like a limit to like how high he could go. I think it's under $100 million potentially for him. So I guess you would need some international money to pony up for him. I'm not sure exactly like how much per se or like how it gets slotted with that. But Saki's ridiculously good. The only problem is that he hasn't thrown like that many innings. Like he's not as durable as Yamamoto. I think he's had some injuries too. Like I'm not sure if he could fully maintain like 200 innings in the season. That's the only pause I would have with Saki. But his stuff's electric. He's one of the best pitchers on the planet. So like it'll be nuts if the Yankees are able to get him next year somehow.
So I guess it's a shame that the Yankees spent that $450K on new catcher. Is that not relevant here?
I think it's okay. I mean, Saki's gonna come. His price tag's gonna be way higher than that. I mean, it's gonna be next year anyway. So like they could reload some of that. I guess I don't exactly know what they would need to offer Saki or like how much international money they would need to have.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. How about making Saki a closer? That would be ridiculous. He would be that would be nuts. Yeah, that would be unfair.
Consistently at 103 on the average for velocity. I'll take him. I'll take him in the bottom of the 10th, bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, absolutely.
But all right. I mean, so what's been good about this conversation is that there's more hopes than woes. That it feels kind of odd, right, Chris?
Oh wow. Well, I mean, let's face it. 2024, we have high hopes that it's going to be a much different, much better, improved team, and that we'll return to the postseason. What would be ideal is to get Yamamoto and be able to talk about winning championships again.
Yeah, I think just because you get Juan Soto, like that brings all the optimism back. Like that was the first big domino that had to fall to fix the offense. Yeah, so now that looks way better, and you're hoping some guys bounce back and build up. Saki could be 24, but they got to complete this pitching. We're not done yet. If they don't get Yamamoto, they're going to have to get creative. Hopefully, they don't have to get creative.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because nothing good happens when they get creative. It always goes created the wrong way. So like they need to just when they get the Yankees win by buying the best players. Let's be frank here. That's how they've won. So like it's especially in 2009, and they've been trying to take shortcuts and it hasn't been working. So I like they're getting back to spending their money and flexing their financial muscle and getting Juan Soto. Yeah, it's not a free agent, but he is the best player in the market. You trade it from him, you're going to have to pay him a lot of money. So. It's great to see that. It shows that they're back to being evil empire again, like we said. Like, absolutely. You just got to keep going with it. Like, keep building.
Yeah, and it's going to take competition to outweigh the evilness over in Flushing.
Yeah,
and who's really going to be the most supreme evil empire? That remains to be seen, and I'm hoping. When do you? This is a great question for both of you and the chat. So, at first we were ridiculously saying we'll know about Yamamoto in 24 hours, 48 hours after winter meetings, and now here we sit. And, we don't know if there's going to be like a chicken McNuggets exchange with the Yankees and, later this week to hold off his decision. What's your gut feeling or sense, Julian and Chris?
It's gotta be the next week. I think we're done the next week. I think it's finally gonna be over. Everyone's saying before Christmas. I agree with that. I think it's gonna happen somewhere from, I said Monday to Wednesday originally, but now like it seems more drawn out. So like I'll say like Monday to Friday next week we'll get it. Like starting tomorrow, I'll be on the watch. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I would be looking at. I think tomorrow's the first day. Like I could realistically see something happening.
I mean, if he's met with all the teams he's meeting with, make a decision. Come to the Yankees.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do. Just do
it. I hope so. I think we all.
Let's not do a typical Hal Cashman thing and have it be 11:59 p.m. on December 31st.
Exactly.
Don't leave us like at the very end of the year. So I do hope it's this week.
I hope so too.
And so, yeah, Chris.
I was going to say, did you want to throw out the answer to the trivia question?
That's you and I, as always, are of the same mind. Yes, it is cute and ready to go.
Okay.
So, a refresher. All about the number 22. We know that many have had it prior, most notably Roger Clemens, and most recently Harrison Bader. Which player wore number 22 in 2021? And the answer is Lori. Lori, you're like the reigning champion.
All right, Lori, you win.
You were first, absolutely.
Thank you, Spencer. We appreciate the question.
Greg, I hit my first hit and then made it into the parking lot. Alan.
Yeah.
Or am I doing my famous wrong reference? Wrong guy. Greg Allen, who was with us for 23 minutes, wore number 22. So
yep.
Excellent. And so, Julian, any final thoughts from you? Any takes? Give us again your Twitter handle and your show info.
Okay, so it's Julian Guilarte 1 Twitter, Instagram's Julian Guilarte 11, and final thoughts and takes. I mean, I would just say the Yankees got to get Yamamoto. It's very cut and dry at this point. I'm happy with Soto. Someone mentioned Judge in center. I'm a little bit nervous, but he can do it. I think it's not going to be the whole year. Dominguez will be back at some point. They'll rotate Grisham. Sometimes Verdugo, which won't be as good, but he'll get out there still because he's not the best center fielder. And then follow our show on Dugout Station, all platforms. That's how you find us. We got some good stuff coming up.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Lynn.
No, that's okay. Go.
Just wanted to say thanks for joining us. We will definitely be finding you. I always look forward to your tweets, your videos, anything I see with you on Facebook, on Twitter, or X. I mean, everyone else should check it out as well.
Thank you.
One of the best follows around, everybody. And check out everything that Julian's doing and certainly his podcast. And as you know from this conversation, he knows the inside. And that perspective was such a great contribution today, Julian.
Dugout Station.
Yeah, Dugout Station. Great podcast.
I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. And before we go, I just wanted to shout out a couple of other podcasts that I've been listening to this week. Just as a final thought on some stuff to do while you have nothing to do waiting for the Yamamoto decision, listen to one of these. The Morning Brew Sports Network. They do a Yankees Morning Brew. Babes. If you haven't listened to Babes, check them out. Of course.
We know stuff.
women, we know stuff. Of course, the NYY News, NYY Underground. Don't forget Pete Simonetti and his crew. Everything wonderful there. Bronx Muchachos. Section 420, Talking Yankees. Love that show. The Pinstripe Chronicles. These guys do show every day. Let's not forget to shout out the brothers. Unhinged Patrick, Showtime Nick, and 9 Frames Podcast. So get out there and support a podcaster this Christmas.
And we here at Pinstripe Chronicles have a little something on our list for Santa, and you can help. If you're not already subscribing, please subscribe, hit like, and sharing is caring this holiday season. So share this. It's free. You don't even have to go to the mall or online. Share the link to Pinstripe Chronicles on YouTube and chat. We asked Santa to give you extra this Christmas season, this holiday season, because without you, we literally wouldn't have a show. And exactly. Tat has joined us for a word.
Yes, you're mentioning all the channels that have been a great support. We also just want to thank the subscribers, which I call family members. You guys have really been showing up, really been getting us out there. We want to appreciate it. And Julian, I just wanted to come on and thank you again for joining the girls this morning. I know you have a very busy schedule. And another channel that is really up and coming, our friend NFB now has the Strike Zone channel. That's another one that he's been killing it with the videos, and he's on a push. He's on a mission to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So the support from this community would really help that. Also, Jason from 161. Also, Julian knows Jason is a great guy. He's a great channel to follow, and of course, Dugout Station with Julian. Yeah. But I appreciate all the channels that have been putting a lot of work in this all season, trying to get the right content out, not just the best content, the right content. So thank you to everybody in the chat.
Thank you very much.
And once a teacher, always a teacher. Your homework assignment is to go now, if you're not subscribing, to anyone that's been mentioned, and don't let Dugout Station leave your mind when we say goodbye in a minute. That should be your first, and everyone else we mentioned. And as always, you'll have a reserved seat with Chris and me right here on the upper deck. Thanks again, Julian.
Thanks again, Julian.
Go
Yankees!
Yamamoto. Got it.